Looks like we got a few new leaks from the AMD side of the hardware world in the form of a 12-core Ryzen Threadripper 1920 CPU, as well as Vega 16GB and 8GB graphics cards. Recently, a list allegedly detailed the upcoming Ryzen Threadripper CPU line surfaced and included specific product names and specs. These CPUs in that list all followed the same 1900 series naming scheme, and it looks like the guys over at Video Cards have spotted the first Threadripper product, and it continues on the same path. The Ryzen Threadripper 1920 appears to be their 12-core, 24-thread CPU and is rocking a base clock speed of 3.2 GHz with an unfortunately unknown turbo. Now, the first time we spotted a 12-core Ryzen Threadripper CPU was in an Alienware system with an engineering sample containing the same 3.2 GHz base, but had a turbo speed of 3.6 GHz. And guess where this CPU is listed? In another Alienware system. Now, another chip, the 16-core 32-thread Monster, was also spotted, but it was still listed as an engineering sample. But what's interesting here is that it's showing an improvement on clock speed from 3.1 base and 3.6 turbo, and is now listed as a 3.4 GHz base and a 3.7 GHz turbo. The fact that we're now seeing production level Ryzen Threadripper is a good indication that we're getting oh so closer to that summer launch. Speaking of summer launches, let's take a look at something more people are and have been waiting for a bit longer: Radeon Vega. Radeon will be launching its first product based on the Vega architecture later this month, the Vega Frontier Edition. Now, Apple has also announced that they will be using Vega in their upcoming iMac Pro, and later in July, gamers will finally get to sink their teeth in and get a feel for the new RX Vega cards at SIGGRAPH. And this version will be even faster than the Frontier Edition. Now, thanks to Apple's announcement, we know for certain that there will be at least 2 tiers of Vega chips, the flagship part featuring 64 compute units, and the next in line will have 56 compute units. But I've got a sneaky feeling we'll see something with 47. Little hint there. Kaduri also confirmed that during an AMA session last month that Radeon Gaming Vega graphics cards will be available with 8GB of memory, and that they're looking at the possibility of launching a 16GB gaming parts as well. It's not clear whether we'll see 4GB based graphics cards at that date. To this date we haven't seen any 4GB engineering samples, but that still remains a possibility. AMD has already announced that their Vega Frontier Edition has 480 gigabits per second of memory bandwidth, which suggests that a slightly lower clock part could be an older part that won't make it to production. The 8GB Vega engineering sample is more intriguing one, however. It has slightly lower GPU frequencies and very slightly lower memory frequency. Notably though, it has a significantly more memory bandwidth than the Radeon Pro Vega 64 and the Radeon Pro Vega 56 workstation cards that will go inside the iMac Pro. This makes the engineering sample a likely candidate to be a precursor to the gaming card that we'll likely see launch from AMD in July. Now, for more information on what we discussed here, feel free to hit the link to the article in the description to get a little bit more details. But this has been Keith with WCCF Tech TV. Keep it locked here for more news as we get it. Well, this has been Keith. We thank you for watching.